Crypto Pirates Daily News, August 27, 2021. Latest news headlines. MetaMask is considering developing its own cryptocurrency. How to use Bitcoin for everyday purchases. Should journalists who cover cryptocurrency own cryptocurrency? A descriptive overview of cryptocurrency regulation around the world. According to a survey, FSI executives are bullish on cryptocurrency adoption. How to make use of Binance's smart chain. Expert opinions on the Bitcoin to Dogecoin transition. MetaMask is considering developing its own cryptocurrency. MetaMask is currently developing a compelling use case for a native token. Significant takeaways. The MetaMask team outlined plans for a potential token launch. It does not, however, have any urgent intentions. The launch is subject to the MetaMask token demonstrating a compelling use case for its own proprietary coin. The team voiced concern about the prospect of a pump and dump following the token's release. According to a community call, the popular Ethereum wallet provider MetaMask is open to a token launch and airdrop. MetaMask is investigating a token application. The MetaMask development team addressed potential ideas for an eventual token release at its first-ever community call. According to Eric Marks, senior software developer, the project is very open to the possibility of community ownership via the introduction of a cryptocurrency. He did, however, add conditions indicating that the team does not wish to build a token without a use case. Rather than that, the team wants a convincing use case. Additionally, Marks raised concern about the prospect of a pump and dump system. Marks explained that while an ICO would help the community by quickly pumping, he voiced fear that some people would sell it and it would be dumped. MetaMask is among the most effective DeFi tools. Since the summer of 2020's DeFi, popular DeFi platforms such as Uniswap DEX and 1inch DEX aggregator have airdropped tokens to their early backers. For users of these dApps, the free token giveaways to community members have been highly profitable. This trend fueled suspicion that MetaMask, one of the most widely used DeFi applications, might likewise airdrop a token to its user base. The team has since stated that, despite its lack of imminent intentions, it is indeed researching a token and airdrop. MetaMask is the default wallet for the majority of Ethereum-based DeFi applications and has a monthly active user base of over 5 million. Along with a wallet service, MetaMask offers swaps, which enable users to exchange tokens directly from the wallet. Apart from the possible release of a token, the MetaMask team is working on additional capabilities that will enable assets to be bridged between different chains and Layer 2 solutions. How to use Bitcoin for everyday purchases. Many believe that using Bitcoin for everyday purchases is impossible, yet a lot has changed in the previous few years. 2 or 3 years ago, purchasing a slice of pizza or a cup of coffee using Bitcoin was not as simple. While Bitcoin is still a strange notion to many, there are numerous methods to incorporate it into your daily shopping. Today's advances, such as crypto cards and the Lightning Network, make it relatively simple to use Bitcoin in daily life. Not only that, but individuals could live entirely on Bitcoin if they so choose. So, how do you use Bitcoin to make everyday purchases? Quick facts. Crypto debit cards enable you to spend your cryptocurrency anywhere. Visa or MasterCard is accepted by instantly converting the cryptocurrency in your account to dollars. A number of services allow you to convert your Bitcoin into gift cards or even pay individuals in Bitcoin to make purchases on your behalf. Certain establishments take Bitcoin directly, without the need for credit cards or currency conversion. If you prefer not to use a card, there are numerous websites that will help you locate establishments in your area that take direct Bitcoin payments. Cryptocurrency cards. Numerous organizations offer crypto debit cards through which each purchase converts the crypto you possess with the site to dollars. This enables you to spend your cryptocurrency successfully at any location that takes MasterCard or Visa. Almost every major exchange, including Coinbase, Gemini, BlockFi, Crypto.com, and Nexo, offers cryptocurrency cards. The card acts as a go-between for your cryptocurrency wallet and the merchant. When you make a purchase, the crypto on your account is converted to dollars, allowing you to spend your crypto regardless of whether the retailer allows it. Payment services. Additionally, there are numerous services that enable you to pay with Bitcoin via indirect methods. Several of them involve purchasing gift cards with Bitcoin and then using them anywhere, or paying individuals wishing to earn Bitcoin to make a transaction in dollars on your behalf. Bitrefill. Bitrefill is a service that enables you to purchase gift cards from over 4,000 different merchants and businesses using your cryptocurrency. This is compatible with a wide variety of services, from DoorDash to Amazon. You can use Bitcoin to purchase a gift card or to replenish an existing one. Additionally, the site takes Lightning Network payments. There are several additional digital gift card firms that accept Bitcoin payments, including Moon, Fold, and Coin Payments. Purse.io. Purse.io is an Amazon-exclusive solution that connects individuals wishing to spend Bitcoin with those looking to earn Bitcoin. You choose an item to purchase and then pay Bitcoin to a purse that serves as an escrow account. When the buyer receives the order, the Bitcoin in the buyer's purse is released to the earner who paid in dollars for the merchandise. Locating Bitcoin accepting businesses. Certain Bitcoin users choose to retain their Bitcoin in self-contained wallets rather than on third-party sites that may offer cards. If this is your preferred method of payment, you'll need your own wallet and the ability to locate merchants who accept Bitcoin directly. While such stores are uncommon, they are growing more prevalent. CoinMap. There are a number of websites that make this quite simple. One website, CoinMap, allows you to enter your address and view nearby stores that accept Bitcoin. Spendabit. Another website, spendabit.co, allows you to search for anything, from coffee cups to sweatpants. The site then displays all retailers ready to take Bitcoin as payment for the product. Should journalists who cover cryptocurrency own cryptocurrency? My first Bitcoin is still fresh in my memory. In the neighborhood of $500 million. It was early 2014, and I was in Miami covering the introduction of Ethereum, among other things. We were in the midst of a screaming bull market, and BTC had lately soared to unfathomable heights of over $600. My roommate and I divided a hotel room, and he wired me $250 in Bitcoin to cover his portion. It is still the largest number of Bitcoins I have ever held. It is currently worth approximately $25,000, implying an annualized rate of return of 990%. Regrettably, I was forced to quickly sell that Bitcoin. I was forced to sell since I was in Miami reporting for Fortune magazine for the first time. Fortune, like the majority of traditional financial and business news organizations, restricts its journalists from having financial assets in the areas they cover. The premise is that possessing an asset invariably distorts your coverage of it in a positive direction or causes you to write critically about competitors. I, too, was unable to purchase Ethereum's pre-sale. Such policies have lately come under fire as a result of an empathetic tweet thread from investor Lynn Alden. She is not advocating for a broad policy of non-conflict. As a journalist, it's understandable that you can't hold a tiny cryptocurrency whose price you may potentially influence with your words. However, Alden questions whether journalistic conflict of interest regulations should not apply to Bitcoin because those who write about money and finance should be permitted to possess money. In a global sense, Bitcoin is money. For us veterans, this is rather déjà vu, as this is precisely the same argument that was regularly made 7 years ago: Bitcoin is money. Journalists, after all, have their own money. Isn't this a factor in their favoring fiat? That case is significantly more compelling today than it was 7 years ago. As Alden notes, Bitcoin has a market capitalization of $900 billion. A single piece of writing, even if it is published in the Wall Street Journal or Bloomberg, will have little effect on it at the moment. That is true in part, while the same may be said of Tesla or, as Willamette University law professor Rowan Gray reminds out, Purdue Pharma. Finally, I believe this is a weak argument because we are discussing an entire business here, not just individuals. Perhaps one skewed narrative by a single journalist who owns Bitcoin would not affect the debate, but what about all of them at the same time? A far more compelling reason to allow journalists to hold at least a little amount of Bitcoin as a treat is that they require exposure to the social, technological, and market aspects of the currency. Someone reporting on Instagram without having used it is irresponsible, and the same is true for cryptocurrency. If you've never used MetaMask, I'm less interested in your predictions about the future of Ethereum. Seeing that first $250 worth of Bitcoin arrive in a cobbled-together DOS text wallet on my clunky 2012 ThinkPad has enriched my daily reporting on crypto. And throughout the few moments when I stepped away from journalism and returned, I was inspired to monitor markets and become familiar with their dynamics. I also purchased in 2019 for $3,000 but was forced to sell at roughly $10,000 when I returned to fortune. Again, wrecked. Alden also offers an additional argument, which I find more concerning: not owning some of the best performing assets, like as Bitcoin, can also affect journalistic bias. I'm sure this is an appealing concept for investors who see journalists saying negative things about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. They're just envious that they're not as wealthy as I am. That is quite alarming logic, and one that I believe is not beneficial to prudent investors. This indicates that any critical assessment of a successful asset by a non-holder can be rejected as salt, effectively blinding the non-holder to legitimate issues. We are all aware that bubbles, manias, and frauds exist, and failing to examine warning signs does not constitute sound risk management. That is the primary reason you, as a reader, benefit from rules that prohibit conflict. This ensures that the information you receive is motivated by the writer's professional motivation to gather facts, rather than their personal motivation to promote their bags. More precisely, I believe the SALT concept reflects a misperception of who becomes a journalist. As a group, we are unquestionably more conservative and risk-averse than cutting-edge technology investors. It's pretty built into our training and thinking. At the very least, good journalists inquire frequently and ponder slowly and deliberately. We get to spend our time being curious as a result of this. Leaving aside institutional issues, many business journalists would prefer to be completely disassociated from the sectors and markets they cover in order to maintain an uninhibited curiosity. We've essentially accepted the fact that we won't make tech investor money and view this as a reasonable trade-off. As you may be aware, CoinDesk does not follow the same regulations as Fortune or Bloomberg. Journalists are permitted to hold cryptocurrency, subject to rigorous disclosure and timing requirements. Personally, I own less than 2% of my net worth in Bitcoin and Ethereum, as well as a few Polkadot and Solana tokens. I also hold a slew of God's Unchained cards that I purchased in 2018 for ETH and are now worth around $5,000, as well as an incalculably valuable herring NFT. One critical aspect of CoinDesk's policy to remember is that, unlike Fortune or Bloomberg, we are not a general interest publication. As ambitious as our long-term goals are, which are enormous, we remain primarily a trade journal for the cryptocurrency and blockchain industries. As a result, nobody in their right mind would join CoinDesk unless they already had some degree of conviction in the industry's importance and future viability. And, while we are delighted to present a range of critical viewpoints, basic media literacy should indicate that you will not find this entire industry as a fraud-style perspectives here. For more information, consult the Financial Times. It is critical to understand the distinction between believing something will matter and believing it is good. My ownership of Bitcoin does not imply that I believe it will solve all of the world's issues. I've spent enough time contemplating technology to understand that it will have strange, complex, and occasionally bad consequences. However, I am confident in reporting on those issues because, like Thanos, I believe Bitcoin is unstoppable. The same fascination that motivated me to write about it at $600 is essentially why I now work at CoinDesk and continue to buy. Finally, a personal note that may prove instructive. In 2014, I was barely scraping by. I had recently left academia and was freelancing to make ends meet while pondering my next move. A $100 reward from winning a poetry contest assisted me in meeting 1 month's rent. Therefore, even if I could have invested, I doubt I could have raised more than around $2,000 at the time. By now, that sum would have risen to almost $200,000. That is quite an accomplishment. However, studying about and writing about Bitcoin ended up being my entry to a legitimate job, one that is almost unbelievably exciting and creative, as well as somewhat successful. Following that trip to Miami, I began frequently covering cryptocurrency for Fortune, eventually becoming a full-time staffer before joining CoinDesk. The conclusion is that in the years since I sold that delicious, sweet $600 Bitcoin, I've earned many times that investment return by writing about money and technology, an activity that feels like play to me. I doubt I'll ever have difficulty finding fascinating, enjoyable, and well-paid work again in the future. If I had to forego several years of 1000% gains to get this point, I can't say I'm bitter. A descriptive overview of cryptocurrency regulation around the world. For years, the crypto business expanded unchecked by global regulators. Now, the fledgling industry has grown too large to ignore. Governments the globe over are increasingly attempting to govern the crypto sector, but each country and area has taken a markedly different approach. This is a very basic summary of crypto regulatory attempts in a few key areas. Regulators in the United States may be stymied by a lack of knowledge among policymakers. For weeks, crypto regulation in the United States has been a hot issue, as crypto was included in the enormous infrastructure bill currently awaiting congressional approval. The bill's crypto clause would force crypto brokers to record transactions of $10,000 or more in digital assets. However, many in the crypto community believe that the definition of brokers was overly broad, indicating that many policymakers may lack the understanding essential to adequately govern the crypto area. The Federal Reserve has been investigating stablecoins, or cryptos that are tied one-to-one to the US dollar, despite the fact that many lack the requisite financial balances to justify the peg. According to the Wall Street Journal, because many stablecoins are backed by assets, the US may be able to regulate them as investments. To regulate the crypto ecosystem in its entirety, Congress would need to either enhance the SEC's regulatory authority or construct a regulatory code dedicated to crypto. Regulators in Europe propose a cryptocurrency-specific rulebook. European regulators are taking the second path, establishing new crypto-specific regulatory standards for investors and developers as part of a scheme called the Regulation on Markets in Crypto Assets, or MiCA. The growth of stablecoins has resulted in a heightened focus on regulation, since some fear stablecoins may jeopardize monetary sovereignty. Stablecoins would require license to trade in the EU under MiCA laws. Other cryptocurrency issuers would be required to submit white papers for approval by national regulators with the authority to halt the issuance of tokens. Cryptocurrency exchanges and other cryptocurrency-related businesses would be required to comply with security regulations and obtain approval to operate. However, it is possible that the idea will take years to pass. The United Kingdom, in particular, has tightened its grip on cryptocurrency this summer, requiring enterprises to register with the Financial Conduct Authority. Many firms have withdrawn applications as a result of the amount of information that would be necessary to be sent to the FCA. China strictly regulates cryptocurrency. Although China was the birthplace of many crypto firms, regulators have begun to tighten down on Bitcoin mining and trading, causing large swaths of miners to relocate, resulting in a dramatic decline in mining. The People's Bank of China later requested that traditional financial institutions investigate users engaged in crypto trading and suspend the ability of such accounts to transmit or receive money for transactions. Numerous Latin American countries wish to attract additional cryptocurrency businesses. Crypto acceptance has risen in a number of Latin American countries, and policymakers in some countries want to make it even easier. El Salvador became the first country in the world in June to legalize Bitcoin as a form of payment. Additionally, the country began supporting Bitcoin mining that is powered by sustainable energy. Additionally, numerous cryptocurrency firms have established operations in Latin America, particularly the Cayman Islands, Panama, and Costa Rica, owing to their favorable tax regimes. Although some countries, including Bolivia and Ecuador, have explicitly prohibited Bitcoin from being used as legal tender for goods and services, many Latin American countries seek to support crypto and potentially attract crypto businesses to their economies. According to a survey, FSI executives are bullish on cryptocurrency adoption. According to a Deloitte poll, the majority of global financial services industry, FSI, leaders are future-proofing their companies through the acquisition of digital assets such as Bitcoin and an understanding of their underlying technology. According to the survey, more than 3/4 of financial services executives believe their firms will lose a competitive edge if they do not implement digital assets or blockchain. Another 80% of respondents indicated that their organization's digital assets will be extremely or somewhat essential in the next 2 years. Why are we going digital? While it may appear as though FSI firms are passively amassing digital assets, the survey discovered the opposite is true. Indeed, the report discovered that FSI firms that implement digital currency strategies also take a more proactive role in their own future. To ensure robust operational protections and to accommodate customers' unique operational preferences, custody of digital assets, in comparison to other assets such as publicly traded securities, requires a new type of technical infrastructure, as well as new processes and procedures, the survey concludes. One reason FSI leaders are interested in adopting a digital currency strategy, according to the poll, is because the technology has the potential to completely disrupt the sector as we know it. For instance, digital currencies may push businesses to embrace self-banking methods, which the poll identifies as a significant existential danger to banking in general. Rather than that, the study recommends that banks collaborate with businesses to establish elevated solutions to address other urgent risks, such as cryptocurrency exchanges, custodians, and crypto-based investments. Another possible benefit of cryptocurrency adoption is the shifting landscape of payment choices. Over 43% of respondents indicated that digital assets would play a significant role in future payment processing services. Today, banks are in charge of this process. Global processing revenue transfers through banks are estimated to be roughly $2 trillion, according to the survey. According to the poll, these revenues will continue to decline until banks and large enterprises find a medium ground. Crowded pool. Businesses that want to pursue a digital currency strategy will enter a crowded field. Numerous businesses are already accepting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as payment. Others are experimenting with ways to diversify their bookkeeping by utilizing digital currency. PayPal has announced the launch of a new service that enables UK consumers to purchase and store cryptocurrencies. This feature is also available to the company's customers in the United States. Other corporations, like AT&T, DoorDash, and Amazon, accept cryptocurrency payments for their services. Claudio Irigoyen, Bank of America's Latin American strategist, defined cryptocurrencies as a cost-cutting tool for multinational corporations such as Amazon in an interview with Bitcoin News. Bitcoin might be utilized as a medium of exchange for international payments, Irigoyen told the news website. When compared to typical transfer methods, using Bitcoin for remittances might potentially result in lower transaction costs. How to make use of Binance's smart chain. As the cryptocurrency market gains traction, institutions are bracing for a surge in participation that will bring in a new all-time high. The world's major crypto exchanges can perceive the present trend most clearly with a bird's-eye view of the action. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, recognized the writing on the wall years ago. Binance Coin, BNB, the native token of the original Binance trading platform, is now the fourth largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization. Using a market capitalization of more than $80 billion, BNB has become well known around the world, as customers of the exchange pay their trading fees with the company's main coin. However, BNB and the centralized exchange to which it is attached function on a distinct blockchain known as Binance Chain. Binance Smart Chain, BSC, is Binance's parallel blockchain service. Importantly, BSC uses smart contracts, allowing it to compete directly with Ethereum, ETH. Why should you use Binance Smart Chain? BSC is, at its core, a platform allowing developers to build decentralized applications, dApps. BSC, which began as a fork of Ethereum, provides all of the features of its parent blockchain while also allowing for speedier transactions and, probably most crucially, lower gas fees. Despite the use of smart contracts, transactions on the BSC blockchain are faster and less expensive than those on the Ethereum blockchain. Saving money on transactions is perhaps the most compelling argument to make the transition. Binance Smart Chain Decentralized Apps. The PancakeSwap, CAKE, Decentralized Exchange, DEX, has attracted the majority of traders to BSC. This well-known DEX and its associated token are currently worth more than $5 billion. Cake, a BSC alternative to Uniswap, UNI, is making inroads against its larger, ETH-based opponent. DeFi tokens like Alpaca Finance, Alpaca, stand out from the throngs of BSC cryptocurrencies seeking for your attention. In August 2021, Alpaca is trading near $1.30. As dApps continue to emerge on the platform, BSC's capabilities will undoubtedly expand to meet the demands of an expanding market. Ethereum versus Binance Smart Chain. While not as diverse as Ethereum's dApp choices, BSC has enormous potential. PancakeSwap has demonstrated that BSC dApps can take market share away from ERC20 competitors. However, the platform is not without its faults. BSC's blockchain is far more centralized than Ethereum's. Despite BSC's support for the DeFi ecosystem, the chain's lower costs and speedier transactions come at the expense of decentralization. The blockchain trilemma refers to the interdependence of decentralization, security, and scalability. Improving one necessitates the sacrifice of the others. Decentralization was surrendered for scalability in the case of BSC. In general, the offerings on BSC are more volatile and less stable than their ERC20 counterparts. Allowing a slew of low-quality dApps into the space has harmed the chain's reputation. Furthermore, as the Ethereum network migrates to ETH2, the requirement for cheaper, faster transactions may become obsolete. How to make use of Binance Smart Chain. For many traders, the benefits of using BSC outweigh the time and work needed in opening a Binance account and transferring a small amount of BNB. The following step-by-step instructions will explain you how to use Binance Smart Chain. 1. Register for a Binance account. A Binance account is required because you will need BNB in your wallet to explore dApps in the BSC ecosystem. Binance provides a wide range of cryptocurrencies as well as some excellent trading tools. Binance is a good option for US customers. Before you create your account, make sure you have all of the necessary papers. Keep in mind that your identity will need to be validated via the exchange's Know Your Customer (KYC) process. You may also be required to connect your bank account in order to make fiat transfers into the exchange. Depending on your bank's response to the initial request, the ACH process for deposits and withdrawals may take some time. 2. Purchase Binance Coin, BNB. Binance Coin, BNB, can be traded against a variety of base pairs on the Binance market. Buying the coin is as simple as clicking a few buttons. When you've decided on a basic pair, the buy button will be clearly displayed. If you select to proceed, the Binance app will take you to another screen where you may set the specifications for your limit and stop prices. You can also purchase BNB at the current market price. After you've placed your order, you'll need to confirm the transaction. Check your inbox for a confirmation email. If you are not instantly notified of fresh email, check your spam folder. You're done when you click the verification button in your email. Just sit tight while the transaction is completed. Remember that Binance Chain is the original blockchain that runs alongside BSC. The Binance Chain token standard differs from the BEP20 standard required for BSC transactions. When withdrawing BNB from the Binance exchange to your wallet, as detailed in Step 3, make sure to select Binance Smart Chain, BSC, as your transfer network. 3. Get a cryptocurrency wallet. To withdraw your BNB from the exchange and engage with dApps on BSC, you must first download a cryptocurrency wallet with connectivity functions. Two of the most popular options are MetaMask and Trust Wallet. Each smoothly connects to the BSC network. You should write down the seed phrase for whichever wallet you choose. Keep this word hidden and secure. It's the only way to access your crypto if you need to recover your wallet. Reopen your Binance app and withdraw your BNB once your wallet has been downloaded and your seed phrase has been secured. When you've successfully moved BNB from the Binance exchange to your preferred wallet, proceed to Step 4. 4. Link your wallet to the Binance Smart Chain. Your BEP20 token should appear in your wallet once your transaction has been confirmed. The BSC network may need to be manually added depending on the wallet you use. The BSC network is available in a drop-down menu of network settings within the MetaMask's mobile app. If you omit this step, the wallet's default Ethereum network will not be able to connect to BSC dApps. With your wallet linked to the BSC network, you've entered the rapidly expanding realm of centralized DeFi, CeDeFi. Expert opinions on the Bitcoin to Dogecoin transition. Without a question, the transition from Bitcoin to Dogecoin has accelerated in recent months, frightening onlookers. It is critical to conduct study into Dogecoin's prospects over the next decade in light of numerous expert perspectives. Due to Dogecoin's large social media following, random comments can easily overwhelm new and uninformed investors. As a result, it is critical to gather the relevant information, even more so if your wallet contains both currencies. According to research, an investor's level of expertise and attentiveness to market trends have an effect on profit margin. A piece of study information such as this press contains sufficient details on expert perspectives on long-term Dogecoin price predictions. Dogecoin's current volatility trend. The present Dogecoin signal indicates that investors may soon begin to see a bullish breakout. Beginning in May 2021, the cryptocurrency market became negative as values fell precipitously. While investors did not switch from Bitcoin to Dogecoin throughout these eras, Doge never had a significant number of participants. As a result, the crypto structure is reorienting itself around the impact and activities of purchasers, thereby improving its decentralization mechanism. Dogecoin recently reached a supply level of $0.3K28, a nearly 25% increase over its initial pricing. According to analysts, this rise in supply increased the likelihood of a bull market. Experts discuss Dogecoin's long-term price prospects. While there is no doubt that Bitcoin is the father of altcoins, can this position be maintained in the long run? As we see in our daily lives, especially the financial system, technological growth is a serious business. Due to the fact that blockchain technology promises to deliver a faster, more secure, and more efficient process than financial institutions, each currency engaged should take a leadership role. As a result, developers produce new coins with the intention of providing superior solutions to their counterparts. Thus, Bitcoin may not continue to be the progenitor of all cryptocurrencies in the long run. More importantly, what will become of Dogecoin's position? It is critical to understand that the good influence of a cryptocurrency on society extends beyond its competitiveness. Initially, many investors dismissed Dogecoin as a joke currency that could easily swing back and forth on social media, until prominent influencers such as Elon Musk expressed interest. As a result, many investors shifted their funds from Bitcoin to Dogecoin. A case study on Elon Musk's tweet regarding the fear of missing out campaign, which drew a large number of people into the market. When experts promote a coin that has historically succeeded, it demonstrates that they have the ability to influence long-term outcomes. Forrest Pazibish, a veteran crypto analyst, projected Dogecoin's price will remain stable, as it has recently, before exploding in the coming years. Volatility in cryptocurrencies makes forecasting precise future values difficult, as the coin community base plays a significant role. Due to Dogecoin's massive base population and social media following, it can quickly recover from any negative situation. Numerous experts predicted that Dogecoin would be worth an average of $1.21 in 2025. However, Paul Levy, a senior lecturer at Brighton Business School, expects that Dogecoin will surpass $1 in value by 2025. To boost the number of people switching from Bitcoin to Dogecoin, developers must design novel solutions based on Doge blockchain technology. Additionally, Doge requires ongoing support from major influencers such as Elon Musk. Doge need a strong community backing to ensure long-term market supply. Despite the rising interest in Dogecoin within the Bitcoin community, investors should exercise patience and conduct adequate due diligence before investing. Today, we have a number of exchanges that contribute to the convenience with which cryptocurrencies can be used. While there are numerous exchanges available, customers require a platform that provides regular information on market trends. As a result, Evonax is a viable solution if you are considering storing your cryptocurrency in a wallet. Evonax reports that Bitcoin to Dogecoin exchanges are possible with available confirmations. We hope you enjoyed watching and listening to this video. Please let us know your opinion in the comments area below. If you found our content useful, please like it and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for more crypto-related contents.